Boston Fencing Academy, welcome. This is May the 6th, 2020. I have a little musical accompaniment here just for the moment. I'm going to turn that off and we will start. Many of you know me, I'm Coach Paul Epley-Schmidt, but some of you may be new because we rearranged the classes. So I'm going to be doing video instruction from here in my gorgeous basement. And I want to remind you that I hope those of you that I've been teaching have now figured out a way to set up a target so you have something to hit, a padded flat piece of wood or a pillow like I have taped to a pillar or something attached to the wall. Some padded object that you can hit with your foil makes a big difference. I also want to remind those of you that I have been teaching about the spiral nature of learning. That is, you do something and then you move on to something else and you spiral back and review the first thing and then you move on to something else and then you spiral back and you review the first and the second thing and then you move on to something else and so on. This is the nature of all learning, and of course that's what we do here. So the first thing we'll do is some warm-ups as always. So we'll do 5 squat jumps. Ready? 1, 2, as always, do not hit your head on the ceiling if you're in a low ceiling room. 4, 5, and stretch your arms back and then rotate them backwards and forwards and in opposite directions if you can, and then reverse the opposite directions and back and across, and hug yourself. Stretch your shoulders over to the left and to the right. And do the isometric exercise where you push and resist, and then you pull and resist. And with your head and your arm. And going forward. And back. So now we'll take some big steps just to warm up this way. And we'll assume the lunge position and stretch that by pushing down on the rear hip. And pivot. Go a little lower each time. And pivot back. A little bit lower. And back. A little lower still. Go down in the runner stance if you can. Front shoulder next to your front knee. And then pivot that and stretch there. I want to remind you, as I always do, being flexible is crucial. The day will come when you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. The more flexible you are throughout your life, the better you will be in terms of health and everything else. So be flexible, stretch quite a bit, keep fencing for your whole life. Now let yourself down and lower, feel the stretch in your hamstring. And up, and then the stork stretch where you pull your leg straight back and you feel the quadricep on the front of your thigh stretching. You can also do this lying on your back, or rather sitting on your knees like this, putting your knees, sitting on your ankles I should say, pointing your knees, putting your head back, and lowering your knees so you feel the stretch. Okay, I want to remind you the nature of this instruction is such that when I'm demonstrating on my target and then we're practicing sets of 10, you obviously cannot be looking at me while you're looking at the target. So you obviously have to rely on the vocal commands. So I will demonstrate what we're doing several times, then we'll do it together, and during those together times you should be facing your target and practicing just on hearing the command. Okay, I'm going to get my foil. So again, we are reviewing how it feels to hold the foil. Many of you have done this for such a long time, this is perhaps unnecessary. Nonetheless, the first 2 fingers and your thumb are primary. Your ring finger adds stability. Your pinky is not involved. It can be curled around, but it should not be used. That way you are holding your foil like a light, elegant dessert fork. So just with your arm bent, make the letter U in a series of disengages, and then make the letter O going in one direction, and then reverse the direction. Now extend your arm and do all that, changing directions of the circle, making the letter U, and then O, and then a kind of upside down U or an N. And extend your arm and recover, and extend and recover. Just from extension distance with your target, just to remind ourselves that we are hitting with explosive force. The hand is rising a little bit, so the point is lower than the hand, and the shoulder is nice and loose. You're not tensing it up. All you're really doing is raising your elbow. Let's do it together on my command. This is the extension distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now step back to advanced distance. This is not a lunge yet, it's an advanced extension. So it looks like this. I know you can't see the target, but you can hear it. So I step, I want my point to land before my rear foot has finished. I'm going to exaggerate the noise there. You'll hear the hit of the foil tip and then my rear foot. So we'll do 5 of those. Advance, extend. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, lengthen the distance to lunge distance. Do 1 lunge to gauge that distance. Inevitably, when you lunge, you'll slide your rear foot a little bit. Technically, textbooky, you're not supposed to, but everyone, of course, does. So when you recover, you may need a small retreat to go back to your original distance. So we'll do 10 of these lunges. We are extending 3/4 of the way, kicking this foot. Point lands before the foot lands. I'm going to exaggerate that again. If you can hear the point and then the foot. Extending. Maybe you can't hear that. At the very latest at the same time. But the point being, don't land here and then extend. Your extension is extending. It's an active process. 3/4, and then you explode at the end. 10 of those. Face your target. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Really explode. 4, 5. Let's stop for a minute. Look again at the video. When I'm lunging, my front toe is going up like this. Obviously not that high, but that's the point. My hand goes and the toe goes up and forward. It is not lifted like a horse or a ballet dancer. It's not this. It's your toe going as if you're slipping on an oil spot. Another set of 5. Extending and lunge. 5, 6, rather. And 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest for a minute. Relax your shoulders. We'll do 5 more. On guard. Face your target on my command. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Relax. Put your foil in your non-dominant hand, in my case left-handed. Again, the handle may not fit your hand, obviously, but it doesn't matter. This is just to keep your brain on its toes, so to speak. So we're going to do 5 lunges with a non-dominant side. Extend and lunge. 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 And now, as a learning tool, one way to do this, and you can do it in school or playing an instrument, is to start with your non-dominant side before you even get to the practice of the dominant side. It would be like playing the right hand part of the piano with the left hand, for example, before you practice the right hand. Or it might involve memorizing a sentence in Spanish before you study the grammar of the sentence. So we're going to do an advanced lunge with a non-dominant side on 5 of these on my count. So it's going to look like this. Watch the video. And you'll notice it's a little bit clumsier, of course, than my right side, the dominant side. Ready? On my command. 1, advance and lunge, recover, and retreat. 2, advance and lunge, recover, and retreat. 3, advance and lunge, recover and retreat. 4, advance and lunge, recover and retreat. 5, advance and lunge, recover and retreat, and rest. Let's remind ourselves, of course, about the advanced lunge. There are two kinds. One is the accelerated advanced lunge, where your feet come together in the normal distance, and then you lunge. That's a slow, fast maneuver. The other is simply fast, fast, and you bring your rear, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's also slow, fast, but you bring your rear foot to your front foot, getting a little extra distance. So the first advanced lunge is this tempo: slow, fast, recover, retreat, slow, fast, recover, retreat, slow, fast. The point of this is to change the tempo. Your opponent's brain is very quick. She sees you coming at one tempo, all of a sudden you change the tempo and you hit. So face your target. We're going to go slow, fast. That's the advanced retreat. Sorry, that's the advanced lunge. Then recover, retreat. Face your target with me. 10. Go. 1. Advanced lunge. Recover, retreat. 2. Advanced lunge. Recover, retreat. 3. Advanced lunge. Recover, retreat. I'm going to change my call. 4. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 5. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 6. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 7. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 8. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 9. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. 10. Slow, fast. Recover, retreat. We do 5 more. Relax for 1 second. I'm going to use the word accelerate this time. Slow and accelerate. Face your target. Go. 11. Slow, accelerate. Recover, retreat. 12. Slow, accelerate. Recover, retreat. 13. Slow, accelerate. Recover, retreat. 14. Slow, accelerate. Recover, retreat. 15. Slow, accelerate. Recover, and retreat. And relax. I'm going to check the video now. I'm doing this in 3 15-minute segments approximately for technical reasons. I'll be back in video 2.